Chad called me a disgrace because I couldn't put on my seatbelt. Chad pushed on my belly and told me to suck it in, calling me a fatty. I'd had 4 months of bed rest with broken legs and a head injury. After Chad ran over me, I couldn't stop eating. Chad and the flight attendant tried their best, but the belt wasn't long enough. Then Chad suggested I get off the plane. But I was the one who planned this trip to rekindle his feelings. Chad said I turned them into fat. He pushed me out of my seat. He yelled in front of everyone he wanted a divorce before I ate him up, too. The flight attendant pointed to the exit. It wasn't safe with me on board. Ashamed, I got my luggage from the compartment and dropped it. The man next to me helped me gather my things and handed me his card. He told me to call if I wanted to avoid future embarrassment. But I paid no attention as I listened to the mockery and giggles. Chad invited the flight attendant to go with him instead of me. I couldn't live like that anymore. I went back on a strict diet. But I couldn't control my appetite. I was dying without food. One day I fainted, and my doctor gave me shocking news. I couldn't starve. I was 3 months pregnant. 2 weeks later, Chad came back with a flight attendant to get his stuff. I told him about the baby, but Chad didn't care. He had a new life. He advised me to have an abortion. My doc was afraid my weight could cause a miscarriage and sent me to his colleague. It was the man from the plane. I felt embarrassed. But Gary didn't laugh. He found the cause of my huge appetite. In the accident, I damaged the brain center responsible for hunger. He promised to fix it, and I trusted him. I was on a plane, and this time the seatbelt buckled. The flight attendant asked the man in front to buy another ticket. He took 2 seats, but he was outraged. He was humiliated. I knew how he felt and tried to be supportive, but I was speechless. It was Chad. His hormones made him fat, but he didn't care. He asked me out on a date. After all, I was beautiful now, and I deserved him. At that moment, Gary came back. My husband had just fed our baby. He said Chad never deserved me. You can get rid of extra weight, but you can't get rid of cowardice. Don't you agree?
2 days before the wedding, the dress came apart on me. It was made 2 sizes too small. Laura said I'd put on weight and refused to return my money. I told her I was having heart surgery next week. My chances were 50-50. When Chuck found out, he promised to make my dream come true. And I made a wish. I wouldn't die if I got married in a white dress. Laura brought another dress. She said it would fit. But the corset was too small. I screamed, "Stop!" But Laura kept pulling and I got stuck. She grabbed scissors to cut me out. She said it was the only way. But then she billed me for it. Laura said I'd cut it up on purpose. I refused to pay. But Laura locked me in her boutique. She called the cops and demanded payment. I didn't want to cause trouble. I gave her everything and realized Laura was a con artist. She'd offered a discount to lure me in and rip me off. She confessed she'd always hated me and wanted to ruin my wedding. Laura didn't say more. She just pushed me out. I had no clue what I'd done to her, but Laura didn't stop there. She uploaded a video of me stuck in the corset and made me a laughingstock. Someone like her shouldn't get married. Did she eat her fiancé? Get that fatso on a diet. I got worse. The doctor said my chances of survival had dropped to 20%. I called off the wedding. I didn't want to make Chuck a widower. I was being prepped for my heart surgery. When it nearly left out, Chuck brought me the prettiest dress ever. I saw it and fainted. It was a miracle I survived. Perhaps it was because of the dress. But my first visitor wasn't Chuck. It was Laura. She begged me to forgive her. and told me why she'd done it. 11 years ago, Laura's daughter and I both needed a heart transplant. I got a heart. Lizzie died, waiting for the next one. So Laura hated me. In her boutique, she recognized me and decided to ruin my wedding. But Chuck changed everything. Turned out he'd made a video for the haters and told my story, that our wedding could be our family's only milestone. Guilt-ridden, Laura sent Chuck her best dress. I promised Chuck to recover and marry him. I forgave Laura and invited her to the wedding, and she hired me as her assistant. Now, her boutique offers wedding dresses of all sizes. The size of your waist doesn't matter. The size of your heart does. Agreed?